already dropping stuff. Okay. We're going to do a little solo adventure. So, why are you side-eyeing me like that? Boy, got some attitude. I'm taking you camping a lot. Anyway, so me and Cirrus, this is Cirrus, if you haven't already met Cirrus. It is 2:24, and there is a spot about 45 minutes from where we live, and I'm at 3,100 steps today. I gotta get that up a little bit. But anyway, sorry, sidetrack, ADD. We're going to a spot on the Tennessee River, and we're gonna set up camp, and we're trying to get there a little bit early. I'm hoping to be there by 3. If y'all want to know where this spot is, you know, a lot of people kind of hide where they go. This is Pickwick Lake. On the backside of Pickwick Lake, there is a place called Dry Creek. It has its own beach owned by the TVA, but you can go down past the beach, and there is some public land that's on the water. There's some primitive campsites. It is a Sunday. It's a Sunday night. I'm hoping that there shouldn't be anybody out there on a Sunday night, so hopefully that works out pretty well, but I really hope that that's not vibrating like it looks like it is. But anyway, glad to have y'all with us.
Who you trying to get crazy with, Whitey? Don't you know I'm local?
Sunshine since I don't know when. Now I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps dragging on. And that train just keeps rolling on down to San Antone. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son.
Coming up only to hold you under, and coming up only to show you wrong, and to know you is hard. We wonder. To know you all wrong, we won. Ooh.
What's
All right, guys,
up?
here we are, hanging out here. I guess, as you can see, by the campfire.
We burned down to our last log. we were a little bit late in doing this, but I made the impulsive decision of going on a little camping trip tonight. And behind us is Pickwick Lake, which is our local lake. And I've got...
So we're on, what's this road? What's this trail or whatever it's called? Hitchcock?
Well, you would know better. I don't even know the name of this road.
Yeah, I think it's Hitchcock Lane. It's technically a public road, but it's like it's at the, it's one of those gravel roads that they just barely maintain.
The big off-road park that you've heard us talk about before is about a half a mile in the other direction. And we are on public land currently, and they have a couple primitive campsites on the water. And if it were daytime, you would see it. You're probably going to see some drone footage. I took some footage earlier before it got dark. And but this is just kind of like our first true off the dock podcast.
Yeah, we're definitely off the dock because, well, hopefully he'll get some shots of it. But if we can look straight across the lake here, that's kind of where our boats are. They're actually on the dock, way over there.
Let's see what we can do.
If you can get a view of that.
So there's Pickwick Lake.
Maybe you can see.
You see those lights. Those are Grand Harbor lights, which that is where Kevin and I reside full time.
Yep.
And so we are on the exact opposite side of the lake
of where we're camped at. I was telling him earlier, it's interesting that when you're sending me the locations where you are, I'm like, man, I could throw a rock across the lake and hit you, but I got to drive an hour.
I tried to convince Kevin to bring his boat over here, and he's like, it's a little shallow for
that. The water's really low this time of year. So this, even though it looks really pretty and the waves are coming in, you can see the light on the water. It probably ain't but about 3 foot deep out there.
Yeah.
So the big boat ain't coming in that kind of water.
Because we're wearing microphones, you're probably not going to be able to hear a lot of the external noise, but we can hear the waves crashing a little bit behind us, and the fire is crackling, and
well, it's burning. I don't know how much the crackling is, because lazy guy, not only was he lazy to come out here at the last minute, I think he grabbed up all the little twigs. He's got one log and he's burning these little bitty twigs. I helped him out earlier. I grabbed him one with no bigger than my finger. So, well, that'll burn all night.
Let me tell you something. So overlanding is, if you want to grunt it out, you can. Overlanding, though, is glamping. So I actually brought my own wood, and I brought about
and a heater,
15 pieces, and they were all burned. And then Kevin decided he wanted to come out here. So it's his fault for being late, because I had a great fire going earlier.
Yeah.
But, we may have already discussed it a little bit, but, it might be worth just having a small conversation about, like, kind of what to bring or what to expect when camping.
Well, I can tell you about what you should bring. What I'm wearing. So I have fleece pants with a nice matching fleece double line jacket with a hoodie, wind blocker, waterproofed. Man, here's the weird part. So, people warn you about buying stuff on the internet. So, and normally most of that stuff, and I don't know how true it is, because I never buy anything off of Temu, but they say, it's like Temu. That's kind of like the funny thing about how cheap something is, I guess now. They use the terminology Temu. But I bought this. This popped up on one of my feeds, and I can actually say so far, I bought me one and I bought the wife one, and this has got to be the best purchase I bought off of the internet.
Yeah.
These things are absolutely, I can't wait to try them out on the boat.
Well, with some goggles and some snow boots, you'd be ready for Everest.
Oh, I got a hood that's got goggles built into it.
Unreal.
With a full face mask on. Oh, I actually got one here. I'll show it to you.
While we wait on him to return, hey, come here. Look who it is. This is Cirrus. He is the star of the ship. He's not paying attention. Hey, look, say hello to the camera. Not paying attention. This is Cirrus. This is my dog. This dog has flown in airplanes. He's been on boats. He's been on dirt bikes. He's been on tractors. He's done just about every outdoor adventure that you can possibly think of. I have a rooftop tent on top of my car, and when it's really cold out like this, I have a diesel heater that warms my tent. So I'm going to be carrying his big old bahunkus up to the tent with me tonight whenever we go to sleep.
Well, I thought I had it, but I didn't have it.
Oh.
Anyways, yeah, I guess Cirrus will be warm up there in the in the glamping tent.
He will. He will. So I'm gonna kind of go off of. Here's the first few things. Like today, this was a very impulsive decision to come camping tonight. So I'll kind of run you through exactly what my thought process was. One, I think about my methods of being warm. So obviously, I want to have a fire. So obviously, depending on where you go, research, make sure that you are okay to have a fire, because a lot of parks, state parks, some national parks will not allow you to have an open flame fire on the ground.
And a band burn if that's on.
Or a burn ban. Yeah, that's correct. So
What did I say? Band burn?
band burn. Yeah. But
Burn ban.
really make sure that you are okay to have a fire before you do. But I have a
But here and on that note, to help those people make decisions to allow people to have fires, the more responsible people are with fires. Like, you got rocks set up around here to try to help contain the fire. You've got it cleaned off pretty well all the way around so it can't spread.
Right.
So being very responsible, and when, like if a game warden pulled up right now, and let's say you didn't know that you wasn't really supposed to have a fire, but when they show up and find that you really know how to set up a campsite and you've taken extra precautions, you ain't got a bonfire trying to burn the leaves out of the trees and all that kind of stuff, and you've done a really good job of keeping it contained. That just helps make camping and those who camp look smarter.
And it's not necessarily, it's not the purpose of like you burning the forest down while you're here. But if you don't have the rocks set around it, or if you don't have like a containment system for the fire, and then you leave the next morning, it has the potential of starting a fire, which you were not there for. So then it would turn into a big problem.
Well, when I was younger, we used to go camping, and we did not know that they didn't want us to have fires. And it wasn't that you couldn't have a fire. The rule was that you had to go to the ranger's house and you had to inform them, because where we were camping at was kind of, I don't know what that terminology is. We called it open camping. So they didn't actually have campgrounds. They would allow you to go onto the property.
It's called primitive camping now. Or that's what we call it.
Well, they don't. Well, these weren't numbered campsites, so you could actually just go pick you a spot, and you could clean it up yourself.
Yep.
You obviously wasn't allowed to cut down trees and all that kind of stuff, but you could clean it up and to take and do your. And we did it in the same spot every year, and the game wardens would come by and check on you. You're supposed to go and check in with the game warden, let them know that you're going to be there. First year we didn't do that, but they were really lenient with us because we knew what we were doing and we were acting civil about it. And when they did show up, they informed us, hey, look, guys, all you got to do is come and tell you. But they checked out our campsite for us while they were there. Look, you guys, everything looks good. They gave us some recommendations, and we made sure, because they were going to check us every day, that when they came back the next day, that we did their recommendations. Right. We did what they asked us to do.
Responsibility will get you a long way.
The only thing we got in trouble for, his only recommendation was, we had, like normal people, so like these two trees right here, we had stacked up a bunch of wood so that we could burn. He goes, I'd really like for you to have that a little further away from the fire where we were at. So that was the only recommendation he had made for us.
So your method of warmth is really important, especially if you're going to be camping in the winter. So fire outdoors. I overland a lot out of my vehicle. I have a rooftop tent. So my method of warmth for the tent is a diesel heater. They are practically silent. They're very, very quiet. In fact, it's running right now and you can't hear it from where we're sitting, and we're 5 feet from it. But it puts out a lot of heat, and it's basically like a thermal warmer it's like a central AC unit for your tent, basically.
That's exactly what it is.
So it's great to have. And also anything that I mentioned today, you can find on eBay, Amazon, and I'm not breaking the bank here. Like, all of this is very somewhat affordable. So anyway, warmth in the wintertime is super important. Summertime, obviously making sure you have fans and water, something that will keep you cool while you're sleeping. That's all pretty common knowledge stuff. But next order of business today was dinner. So what was I going to do about food? I have a camp stove that hooks up to propane. I'm actually sitting on my 5-pound propane tank. This is made specifically for camping, so it's not a 20-pound tank like you typically get at your grocery stores or your exchange tanks, and I go get them refilled for $3. It's incredibly inexpensive to get them refilled, and that will last me months. With is the at the rate that I camp. But I have a camp stove. There's a lot of different propane attachments that you can hook up to different things, whether it's ovens or camp stoves or coffee makers or there's a lot of different stuff. But I use a camp stove. I bring a couple different pots and pans, and tonight I brought some raw ground venison, and I put it on the camp stove, chopped it all up, and I made what I call the dirty Doritos. So basically, what that is a bag of Doritos that I crush up, and then I chop up some venison. So where it's ground venison, it's or you could use ground beef, whatever your preference is, and I put shredded cheese and taco seasoning on the venison. So I cook all of that in the pan on my camp stove. And then once it is thoroughly cooked, I will cut the bag open after grinding up all the chips. And then I just dump in the cheese, the meat, and the taco seasoning. And it is wonderful. You mix it all up. You get your little spoon or fork. And it is fantastic. It's super cheap, super easy to make. And it is ultra fast cleanup time.
And what I did was I went in the boat and I asked my wife if we were eating anything. And she said, there's stuff in the refrigerator. Go help yourself. So I go in there and I start making the tacos, and she comes down and I look so sad. She goes, here, let me do that for you. So she heated up me some leftover taco meat, some leftover rice and beans, made me some tacos, put some cheese and stuff on it, put some sour cream and stuff on it, and they were the best tacos I've ever eaten.
So I'm talking about.
I love her tacos. So that was my roughing it meal for the evening.
Yep.
By letting the wife do it on a stove in a microwave.
There are endless opportunities for what you can cook at camp. It can be as easy as hot dogs over your open flame. There's really anything that you can cook at home on a stove or in an oven. There is a camp version of those things. So you have a camp stove. I have a Coleman camp oven. So it's literally a box that I set on top of my camp stove, and I can cook biscuits. I can cook crescents. I can cook cookies at nighttime.
Casserole.
Anything that you would normally put in an oven, I can put in that, and it works perfect. Which is great for mornings, breakfast time. You can make you a quick sausage and biscuit for not only you, but other people that are camping with you as well. So
and if you're just doing an overnighter, you get up early, you pack everything up, and you ride by the local McDonald's and grab you some breakfast.
That's what's happening tomorrow morning. Absolutely. So we've got your comfort technically, and then you've got your food out of the way.
Well, one of the things with comfort is you should bring more than one chair, so that when people like myself show up late, you got another chair.
Look
to
who's
sit
sitting
in.
in the chair.
Yeah. Well, he told me I could, so I'm sitting in the chair because he didn't bother to bring two.
I'm sitting on the propane tank.
Yeah.
So there's along with comfort too. If you're going to be even in a ground tent, what I would say for a ground tent, obviously that is like the traditional way to camp, and it's a great way to camp. I have nothing against that at all. But keep in mind, if you're on the ground, you are subject to moisture. So understand that if you're going camping and it might potentially rain, or
I think it's sprinkling right now.
it is raining.
I think it's
I just got a notification saying we're in a rain alert. So if you're in a rooftop tent or you're camping in your car, obviously you don't have to worry about that. But keep in mind, if you are going to be camping on the ground, one, be mindful of the clothes that you bring. Always bring spare pairs of clothes, even if it's for a one-night camp. You never know what's going to happen. You might need to change the clothes. And my biggest thing in the book when it comes to clothes, always bring in a second pair of socks.
Well, I mean, 2 or 3 things can happen. You can get hot and sweaty if you're out here working and you didn't, wasn't careful about that, especially in cold weather.
Mm-hmm.
So you put on something dry.
Mm-hmm.
We'll let that dry out. That's most important. That keeps you from, getting too cold.
Yep.
They could get wet easily. And rain, this is a different kind of camping here. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, oh yeah,
I've never used I've never even didn't even know they had a diesel propane heater that you could run in your tent. I'm thinking someone says, "Hey, how do you keep warm?" Well, I'm using a duck down with some blankets and all kinds of stuff. That's the way we would do it, and you'd put it on the ground. And of
thermal
course,
sleeping bags.
if you've ever camped on the ground, and if you've done it enough, you will eventually get caught, and you'll realize that it rains. And if you didn't think forward enough, if you didn't get it in the right spot, water's going to run. Well, back in the day, we didn't have bottoms on the tent, so yeah, water ran into the tents.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, most all tents have bottoms in them. It doesn't mean water can't get in them, but
right,
they have bottoms to keep most of that water out. But yeah, so yeah, you could easily get wet that way. You wake up, if you left stuff laying out, it can get wet. Wake up in the morning time, if you got stuff drying out, the dew can settle on them. Those can be wet. You need something to have, you know, while you're waiting on something else to dry.
Yep.
Of course, I don't think there's anything that makes camping. My wife, if she was sitting here, she would tell all of the ladies, look, I think one of the things that makes camping the absolute best is, especially if you're going on a long camp. If you're going to do a 3, 4, 5 day camp, all those extra clothing, those fresh clothings make that day feel better, you know, because some of you not always going to be able to get a shower. Maybe you're not hooked up like a shower like he's got, you know, maybe if you're really roughing it and it's going to be a 3 or 4 day, or, you know, unless you're, you know, if you're at some of the local campgrounds, they have showers, you can go take showers at, but if you're out, and you can't, if you don't have that luxury, maybe you get to wash your hands or something like that. Changing them clothes, those fresh clothes, man, that brings some edge of comfort.
It makes a big difference. And along the same topic of showers, maybe you're a dude and you want to go camping bad, and you want to go for a weekend, but maybe your lady friend or your partner doesn't want to go because there are no bathrooms, and she doesn't necessarily want to go in the woods. So there are solutions for that. They make what I do, especially on my longer trips. If you get on Amazon, you can also go. Most of this stuff too, you can find literally in the Walmart section, or the outdoor section at Walmart. So keep that in mind. All this is very budget friendly, with the exception of like rooftop tents and awnings and all that. But this is a big one. They make a toilet seat that goes on a 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
And
put your plastic bag
in. Put your plastic bag. And what I carry with me now, I have a fold-out shower, and obviously that's pretty bougie. So it's basically a fully enclosed, has a top on it, so it's waterproof. And I normally put my bathroom facilities in there. And there is, I can't remember, it's a powder. It's like a blue powder that you put in the bottom of your plastic bag. So then when you use the restroom, whether it's number 1 or number 2, it basically turns it into a gel.
Yeah.
Any of it. So then it is also, what do you call it? It's like eco-friendly or biodegradable. So, you know, whether you put it in the trash can or you dig a hole in the ground, perfectly normal either way. But it's just a little bit more of a civil way to use the restroom while you're out and about. So, I would say the next, this is probably the most logical thing that you will consider whenever you're going out, but always make sure you let somebody know where you're going. I have a Garmin watch that I carry on me all the time. I really have just started wearing it again. But especially for camping, if you're going to go out, in the middle of nowhere and by yourself, let somebody know where you are, and then also have some form of downloaded maps on your phone. So if you have zero service, you at least know where you are.
Yeah, there's really no reason at this day and age in our time for you to be without a digital
location device.
Well, the ability to look and to know where you're at.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember 30 years ago we didn't have that, and you could have some paper maps, but most of the time you just kind of get, you just need to know the area that you were in. But now you don't. You can at least have a map, a digital map, and you can know exactly where you're at before you get there. Have a planned route out of there. You know, you can at least look up where the local creek is, know where it runs to,
Yep.
where it crosses the roads, where it crosses the trails. There's enough before you get there, before you run out of service. You can take the forwardness and leave a pin. I happen to be my family's all on the Life 360, so they all know where I'm at all times.
Yep.
Your phone has, if you don't want to do 360, your phone has
Find My Friend.
Find My Phone,
Yep.
which you can share locations with anybody you want. And therefore, if somebody says, hey, he went camping yesterday, but we ain't heard from him,
Mm-hmm.
well, we can see where he's at, see if he's moving,
Yep.
And that operates off of satellite.
Yep.
Of course, the ultimate device, and you can buy them now, you can buy them cheap. A long time ago, them things was, they was 1,000 or 1,200, and there's some that still are.
Oh, yeah.
But you can get a satellite communications device,
A sat phone
that will work anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And you can give it to someone, and if you're going, you can take that route. So at least you could have a lifeline.
At the bare minimum, whenever you travel outdoors or camping, I think that it's just smart to assume you won't have service, because if you plan for that, you won't have anything to worry about. So anyway, if you're camping locally, it's not a huge deal because, we're not too far out. But, if you're going to go in the middle of the wilderness somewhere, it would be probably wise to at least not only let somebody know where you are, but also have a way to navigate if you did not have cell phone access.
I think if you're going to do something that's out of the normal, someone should know you're about to do that. Because if you're doing normal stuff and you come up missing, they're all going to look where you would normally go.
Right.
And then they're probably going, well, there's no way he would go over there. Well, today he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, to let someone know that you're about to do something out of the normal and where that's at. So at least if something does happen, they at least know where to start looking,
Yep.
But we don't need to get all down in the mouth over that kind of stuff.
No.
Camping is a fun thing to do.
I highly recommend it.
What a view that is, though.
This is a cool spot.
I think that we were seeing the lights, and of course the cameras. We got some photographs you can see.
It looked pretty good in the video.
It's amazing with these low clouds that we have right now, of how far away though you can see the small town lights over there, reflecting off of this almost perfectly calm water out here. Man, it's peaceful. Look, you can look across the lake. Go look. Civilization is over there, and we're over here, and just having a peaceful time. Just listening to the sounds of nature. I think that's the cool part too. Just being able to listen to the water roll up on the bank. Got a little sprinkling going on so you can hear it hitting the trees and the leaves and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's really nice to be out here and just enjoy the outdoors. And
a couple things, since we were on the topic of Walmart items. A couple necessity things that I carry with me all the time. One, the 5-gallon toilet seat lid. That's a big one. Any kind of rechargeable or solar charged LED, or it doesn't even have to be LED, but camp lights. So this one, it's going to be really bright. Hold your eyes. But this is incredibly bright. It has 3 different power modes and an SOS red mode. So if it was completely pitch black at night, somebody would be able to see that. That is rechargeable during the day. Let's say you have no access to power, it will recharge off of the sun. So super easy to get, super easy to have. There are tons of camp stoves. There's tons of small propane green 1-pound bottles at Walmart. There's backpacks. There's survival gear. There are little hatchets and knives. There are frozen camp meals. So they're dry freezed meals or frozen meals. So you basically add boiling water to them and then you have a full meal. So there's a lot of stuff that you can get locally that you wouldn't necessarily have to outsource real hard for. You can buy tents, you can buy air mattresses, you can buy cots, you can buy all that stuff at Walmart. I recommend you go down that aisle anyway, because it's always good to just have some survival stuff around the house at the very minimum. Yeah. I think that's smart to have, but that's where you go to get it. So I think that about wraps up the minimalistic side of camping. Also on the Walmart app, the Walmart aisle, the camping aisle at Walmart, fire starter is a big one, especially for people that didn't grow up a Boy Scout. I didn't. You can
You see this fire behind us?
look. It's been burning for 6 hours. Okay, it's looking a little weak right now.
You can tell he wasn't a Boy Scout.
But listen, here's the quick tip. You ready? It's 3 easy steps. Little twigs and kindling, okay? Light it. So you put something up under it, whether it's leaves or it is some kind of fire starter, matches, whatever it is, light the kindling. Let it start as a little bitty fire. Once you get the kindling hot, then you start putting your bigger logs on it.
Medium size.
Medium size, yeah. So
work your way up.
the hotter the fire, the bigger the log that you can put on it. So also the bigger the log, or the hotter the fire, the quicker it will burn. So it's just always keep that in mind. If you have a limited amount of wood, or you don't have a chainsaw, or you don't have an axe to source more wood, keep in mind how much you've got. And the alternative to a real campfire, such as this one, nowadays you can online source a propane campfire. So basically what that is they give you about 6 feet of propane hose, and then they give you a small fire pit. Normally it's about yay big, 2 feet, 3 feet by a foot. And there's a lot of benefits to that. For the places that will not allow you to have a wood burning fire or a ground fire, all those propane pits are over the ground, they're above the ground, and there's no wood. So you can still get the warmth of propane and a campfire, without having to burn anything.
Yeah, and I think I think if you're camping, you almost got to have a fire. So if they can't let you burn wood, then that is a very good substitute that you can do that. So you still get the fire element of camping. Yep. I mean, the campfire is almost a staple when it comes to camping. You gotta, I don't know about anything else, but I don't want to go to a camp. I ain't camping without having a fire.
Oh, me either.
So, that's just part of it.
I have chosen different places to go camp because they would allow a fire. Like there was one time I was going to go somewhere and I was super excited about going there. I was going to do some off-roading during the day and I was going to camp at night, but the rules were no campfires. And I said, nope, I'm going the alternative route and I'm going to go find somewhere that will allow me to have a campfire. And that's what I did.
Yeah. Well, good for you, because I don't normally ask. I'll wait till they see the glow and then they come tell me you can't have a fire.
You don't want to have a run-in with green jeans unless it's a good run-in with green jeans. I think something that would be good, and maybe y'all can look out for this coming soon, but maybe even if it's like an Amazon list, maybe we can provide a link on our Facebook page. So if you are interested in camping, I might build a list for the bare necessities of camping, so that maybe for Christmas or for a birthday or whatever else for somebody that might enjoy camping, you'll have a little bit better idea for budget-friendly camp necessities. So that's kind of something that I have a passion for. So if it's something that might be able to help you, then I want to be able to do that. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously a lot of videos on YouTube and stuff of people that really roughing it. They just walk out in the woods with an axe and start their own fires and build their own little things in the ground or up against trees, and they really huff it out like Survivor or Alone. But you don't always have to do it that way. You don't have to be those people. No. You can actually bring some creature comforts out there with you. I mean, there's no reason why not to, unless that's just what you want to do. You want to see if you can go out and survive naked and alone. I mean, that's fine if that's what you want to do. But I have no desire to do any of those things. If I'm going to go camping, I want to get out there. I want to be able to set it up fairly quick. I don't want to spend a lot of time trying to set everything up, build a bunch of stuff. The part for me camping is just to kind of get out and relax. Yeah. Be lazy. Absolutely. Actually. Not work harder than I do at the house.
Although it might be a little bit bougie. I have a
little bit. You call this a little bit, or just a little bit, or a lot?
It's pretty bougie. But
I mean, compared to Naked and Alone, this is
it is. Yeah, this is a hotel.
Yeah. So this has got running water and everything.
Right. So I've got a rooftop tent. I have an awning. I have a shower. I have all of the things that you would need for convenience when camping. But the selling point for a lot of this stuff is that it is put together so quickly. When I arrived at camp today, I had my rooftop tent fully up and open. I had my awning open, and I had my table, which you are sitting on right now, set up with all of my kitchen stuff, all in less than 10 minutes. And I guarantee you, if, let's just say theoretically, it's raining right now. If I were to leave because it were going to be a downpour or a horrible storm, I could probably put all of it back up in less than 10 minutes. And that is the beauty of kind of the way I have it set up.
Of course, the only downside of that is then you have to go home and open it all up so you
let
get
it
all that
dry out.
water out.
Yep.
Make sure you dry your camping gear out after you've come back. So
That
you
is
put
part
it
of
up, it will mold, the zippers will rust and corrode, and you won't have nothing worth anything
That's it.
for your second trip.
Well, I think our fire is dying, so we're going to enjoy the last few minutes of fire, and we are going to look out into the abyss and enjoy some silence, because this is what you don't get to experience often. There is no noise except for nature out here. So we're going to enjoy it, and y'all stay tuned for another Off the Dock episode in
Absolutely.
the studio coming soon.
That's right. Hey, and don't forget, God loves you, and so do we. Peace.
Peace.